Welcome back to another edition of Territory Talk, the official podcast of the Florida Panthers, presented as always by Baptist Health, the official sports medicine provider of the Florida Panthers. Doug Plagens, Jameson Olive here with you as always, and a special guest kind enough to stop by today, Dolphins quarterback Mike White, taking some time out for us. And huge South Florida sports fan, huge Panthers fan, Mike White, kind enough to stop by. Mike, thanks for taking some time out for us, and we wanted to give you the platform right away so people know you've been a Panthers fan for a long time. So just in mentioning that, I can't imagine how special this has to be for you.
No, these past couple of years, the runs have been so much fun. And now just being one win away from hoisting the cup is just crazy. I mean, we have a group chat, like I'm sure every South Florida sports fan has, and we just talk about the Panthers and how it's just funny and crazy how like this is where we are. It's been really cool and really fun to watch.
And Mike, you talk about the group chat. Is that just like guys you grew up with, like the Broward County crew? Like
Exactly.
Yep. Like the middle school guys. It's like I'm sure back then you guys were going to games like probably $2 a ticket, and now here we are, top of the mountain. Just how crazy is it to, like you said, not only go through this experience, but share this experience with so many other people that have, been through the ringer here with the Cats over the years?
It's a lot of fun. I think the most fun part about it is the guys on the team that might not have watched hockey growing up or even a year or two ago, but like they come down here and just the atmosphere, like going to the games, it's so much fun. And then playoff hockey is unlike any playoff sport in the world. It's definitely, it rivals playoff football too. I might be a little biased there, but it's really fun. So seeing those guys get into it and like sitting with them at the games, and then like recognizing players that I know just from watching like regular season games, and then they like, oh, there's that, and then them learning what offsides is and icing and all that. It's cool to kind of like bring all the guys along with you and see how South Florida's just embraced the hockey culture, and it's been really, really cool.
Mike, like you said, you brought in so many guys, to games over the years. I feel like we have a whole kind of Dolphins contingency now, big kind of group of super fans. I think you and Raheem may be the presidents of that club, but what's it like now, like in the Dolphins locker room these days, talking about the Panthers, and how many guys have kind of gotten on board? I saw even Tyreek tweeting about it these days, so it seems like everyone's getting involved.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were sitting in the locker room, and it was Jalen Waddle, Javon Holland, David Long. They were all like asking me, because we're all kind of in the same little cubby in the locker room. They're all asking me about it. So they're like, so are playoff games like fun? Is it a lot of fun? Like, do we need to go? I was like, dude, yes, you need to go. It's in the air conditioning. One, it's fast paced, and it's electric. It's fun. It's a nice, like, it's so impressive what these guys do too. So like, as a fellow athlete, you can appreciate what they're doing, just the physicality of the game, the skills necessary. On top of that, doing it on skates, it's like, it's unheard of. So it's really fun to watch that, just like as an appreciation of another sport and like other athletes. And then it's fun. Like playoff hockey is fun. And the Panthers play such a fun, physical, like brand of hockey that's really, really fun to watch.
And Mike, we could take it a couple of directions off of that, but obviously you've played your sport at the highest level. So we're going to talk about that a little bit too, but just in watching game 3, we're talking to you a day after the game 3 win. So the Panthers getting up 3-0 in this Stanley Cup final. Can you describe the emotions you were feeling? You touched on it a little bit, but as that game was going along, what were some of the emotions you were feeling as you were following along with the action?
It was tons of fun. I mean, going into it, like, all right, we got 2 at home. Now we got to go win 1 on the road. Like going into it, I'm like, all right, let's just split 1 in Edmonton, and then we'll just see where the chips fall after that. So the Tarasenko goal was huge. And then Bennett scores, and I'm like, oh, and then Barkov scores. I started laughing like out loud. Like, you can ask my wife, I'm like, what? This is crazy. Like, we're dominating. Like, this is fun to watch. Like, this is fun. Going into it, especially like last year's cup, going into it, there was a lot of like, are we going to be able to pull this off? Like, is this run, when is this run going to end? And this year, it's a little different. It's like you going into every game and every series, even the games that we didn't win, it still felt like we were the better team. We just didn't have the puck luck. Whereas like, it's so much fun. It's really impressive to watch. It's like going into no matter what happens, whether we go down 1-0, we lose the first game of the series, it's just something about the demeanor of the guys, and like Paul Maurice, like love his press conferences. Like those have been fun to watch. I'm sure you guys have a lot of fun going to, but it's just, you never doubt them. You know, they're always going to be here, never too high, never too low. And I think that's just kind of when Barkey's your captain, that's kind of like how he operates. So I'm pretty sure the team will kind of adapt that mindset as well. So it's been a lot of fun.
And Mike, you had a big moment after game 2 with your tweet about Leon Draisaitl. Obviously, Barkov responded in game 3 with a big performance, but how much fun do you have just being a fan? Obviously, I'm sure, football life, that's your job, that's work, it's great,
Right.
but to still have the capacity to kind of be a fan and post memes and have fun with professional sports like that, because that took off. Fans love that.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. You kind of see the other side. You're like, all right, well, now I understand why football fans have so much fun and why they post things like that. So it was. I like ran it, that group chat I referenced earlier. I like ran it by them first. I was like, hey, is this a bad tweet? Should I do it? And they're like, no, it's great. Tweet it. So I had a lot of fun tweeting that, and it was funny. I even had my son here, like, I was trying to get him to like take a video of saying like "boo Leon" or something like that. He was like, "What are you talking about?" That he's like 2 years old. So I was just like trying to send that to the group chat, just having fun with it. Like you said, being a fan, it's a different side, and I've enjoyed it.
And you mentioned being a fan. You're a longtime South Florida sports fan. I guess maybe a multiple parter here, but what are some of your earliest memories of following the Panthers? Did you have a favorite player growing up, and who are some of your other favorite longtime South Florida athletes, and what maybe some of the other memories that you've had? What are some of the other memories you've had from your childhood?
Yeah, so growing up, I was a big baseball fan. Like that was my sport growing up, and so I mean, I remember my parents would always say at the age of like 4, I could tell you every single person on the Marlins team. So like the '03 World Series was so much fun. I mean, I would probably say my favorite Marlin. I loved Gary Sheffield when he was on the Marlins, just because I love to like imitate his batting stance, as every other kid that's ever seen Gary Sheffield. Pudge, was a big fan of Pudge Rodriguez. I liked Stanton when he was on the Marlins, back when he went by Mike Stanton. Man, I could do this for days. Dontrell Willis, Luis Castillo, Juan Pierre. I was at the game, Juan Pierre banged the drum, I was like, I gotta find a way to get a picture with this guy. Like, this is a South Florida legend. So yeah, baseball was my sport. And then I remember going to hockey games like when I was younger. I didn't go to enough to where I like really learned the players, or like, especially that young, I didn't have as much of an appreciation for it. So I liked going to the games because it was fast paced, and like I said, it's in air conditioning, which is much appreciated in South Florida. You're not going to games in back then Pro Player Stadium and sweating your butt off. But I would say like I really started to get into like following hockey and playing like fantasy hockey, like probably my freshman year of college, thanks to my buddy Josh Appel, who's been a lifelong fan. So he taught me everything I needed to know about it, and kind of has brought me along as a fan. So I mean, my earliest memory of a favorite Panther player, I really liked watching Keith Yandel, and now like seeing him on the media side, it's like even cooler because he's like such a funny dude and just a down to earth guy, which I've kind of tend to see with hockey guys. For the most part, they all seem pretty down to earth, just regular chill dudes that kind of just go about their business. So I'd say my favorite Panther back then, and then now, like, I really love Forsling. I think the way he goes about it, he's so underrated, and it's so impressive what he does. So I'd probably say that's like my current favorite Panther.
Mike, is there a Panther that you think would most seamlessly slide into the football realm of things? If there's one guy on the team that you'd like to see just strap on the pads, get out there for an open tryout, and maybe they could bring something, who would it be?
So I actually got asked this question when I went to one of the Lightning games in the first round by the Panthers media team. I said Nick Cousins because I thought he could play like a pretty good downhill safety, like kind of roam back there, fill the box when he needs to. He actually like commented on it on Instagram and DM'd me. So I kind of fanboyed for a little bit there. That was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then, but I think After watching the playoffs unfold, Bennett, I think just Bennett will get in the mix no matter what it is. Like he would be able to put the pads on and fit just right. I feel like he would have some pretty hard hits and he would be just fine with the contact.
And Mike, I got to ask, you played, in the NFL in front of 40, 50,000 people on massive stages. How does that compare to banging the drum at a Panthers game? Because you got to do that, and that's got to be pretty cool.
That was fun. It was like the only bad part about it was like the one game we lost at home before the Cup. It was the game I banged the drum. So I told everybody after that, I was like, I'm not touching that drum ever again because I'm 0 for 1. I don't want to be the bad juju, but it was a lot of fun. You get nervous. You're like, all right, it's just a simple beat. But like you overthink it in your head. You're like, all right, I got to get this right. I got to do it loud and all this. I can't miss it. I can't let it slip out of my hand. Like all that. We all talk about it too in the locker room because I think Raheem's banged the drum, Waddle banged the drum, Jalen Ramsey banged the drum. We tried to get Tyreek to go bang the drum, but I don't think that's worked out yet. Maybe game 5 if there is one. But no, it's real. Like you definitely get nervous about it and kind of overthink it. It's like it's just you're hitting a drum. It's super simple, but you kind of psych yourself out about it.
And Mike McDaniel crushed it last game. It seems like he's built for that. He always brings his A game for the drum banging.
Oh, that guy is a showman to the highest degree. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he can get a crowd going.
Mike White, Dolphins quarterback, kind enough to stop by here with us. And Mike, now we just got to know, how are you going to be taking in game 4?
I'm trying to figure out a way, if there is a game 5, to get down south and make the game. I know a bunch of people that are going to the arena watching it on Saturday. I don't know if I'll be able to make it down there, so I'll be at home blasting it on the TV and wearing my jersey, all that good stuff, talking in the group chat, maybe figuring out if I can find some more funny tweets for intermission. But yeah, so I've had good luck doing it. Every game I watch here at home, we win, so I don't want to switch it up.
Well, Mike, we thank you so much for stopping by. And you mentioned those funny tweets. Tell the people out there where they can find you for some entertainment on the side if they're interested.
Just a shameless Twitter plug. My Instagram handle is Mike White QB. Very simple, very easy.
Well, you can follow him and Mike, of course. We appreciate your support of the Panthers. It means the world to us, more than you'll ever know. And again, huge thanks for stopping by here with us today. I know all the Panthers fans and the sports fans across South Florida enjoy hearing from you. So thanks so much for stopping by.
I appreciate you having me.
Mike White, Dolphins quarterback, kind enough to take some time out for us and chat Panthers here on Territory Talk, the Panthers official podcast presented by Baptist Health, the official sports medicine provider of the Florida Panthers. For Mike White, for Jameson Olive, I'm Doug Plagens. We will talk to you next time.